Hey guys, Drifter here. Believe it or not, you can rush effectively in Modern Warfare, and this shotgun is actually pretty good. You just can't rush easily, and the shotgun isn't particularly easy or natural feeling. All of that's going to be the subject of today's video. I'm going to talk about rushing the double-barreled shotgun and give you my best tips on how to play this game if you don't want to camp. Let's start off with the rushing aspect of Modern Warfare. It's no secret by now that this is a slower Call of Duty game than we've had in a very long time. As the developers and many of the community members would say, it's realistic, but that also means slow, because real-life soldiers don't try to 360 YY quickscope people. We've been conditioned to sprint, knee slide into enemies, wall run, or jetpack boost around the map for almost half a decade now. Going back to a slower COD has been a rude awakening for those that loved COD 4 and look back on it only with nostalgia goggles, and it's been a very rough experience for the newer generation of COD players who I will lovingly refer to as jetpack kids. In Modern Warfare, camping yields the best results for the least amount of effort. If you're having a hard time, the easiest, best thing to do is camp, and for what effort it takes, you're just going to get great rewards and more kills out of it. It's a lot like building in Fortnite. You don't have to be great at building to get a lot of utility out of blocking bullets and stuff. If you want to do well immediately, just slow down your pace and camp more. If you just hate everything, you don't want to rush, I need a kill for my emotional security, just camp a little bit, you'll be fine. But personally, I don't know how long this is going to stick in the long run of the meta of the game, because I've learned that you can rush in Modern Warfare. It may take some time to balance out. We may need to unlock some guns that the community likes better. It may need certain attachments or a style or a skill set, or it may just stay campy and miserable. But with all that being said, you can rush, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to rush effectively and talk about this really neat shotgun. But first, I have a wholesome plug for my wife and our dogs. This is my wife's cosplay and crafting store. We just listed some overstocked items that were left over from Anime Fest, including the very popular holographic doggo Pokemon cards. People really enjoyed these. We have the cute Aussie bacon keychain. We have the reversible dog butt and head keychain with different faces depending on which dog you want. Little cute yin yang stickers, cosplay prints, fat dog stickers, custom drawings, and a lot of fun stuff. But we've got it left over from Anime Fest, and if you're interested in collecting any of this drifter and or doggo or wife themed merchandise, then by all means come check the store out. It's the first link in the description. Back on topic with Call of Duty. You see me mostly rushing in these gameplays, but it probably doesn't look that aggressive. I had to modify the way I rushed in order to be successful here in Modern Warfare, and I've got 6 tips for you that will improve your rushing skills. Tip number 1 is that super sprint is your enemy when rushing. The super sprint, the double click, sprint as fast as you can, hold your gun up and book it, is not your friend, because the sprint out time penalty is huge. You cannot react quickly after doing this. You have a huge sprint out delay before you can shoot, and you'll lose almost every single gunfight if you super sprint, unless the other person has literally no thumbs or they don't even know you're there. Because they'll be walking around a corner, they'll be pre-aiming a corner, or just regular sprinting, and they'll have a faster reaction time than you can possibly have. You should only use super sprint to get out of kill zones, to sprint across dangerous areas, or to sprint up to something, and when you know that there could be enemies, you want to stop sprinting, or at least just slow down to perhaps regular sprint, and walk or corner properly, because if you just go balls in super sprinting, they're just going to kill you instantly before you can even get your gun resettled. Number 2 on this same topic is that it does help to stop to pre-aim, or at least to slow down and pre-hip fire and sweep a lot of corners when you move around, or at least much more so than you did before. Whatever you were doing before, however much you did or didn't believe in the pre-aim strategy, I think you should just do it more in this game. Pre-aiming corners, at least hip firing on them, slower sweeps even when you're rushing are going to be essential for you living long enough to get your kill streaks. And in my opinion, you kind of die too quick when you get caught with your pants down by a dark corner McDougal, especially if you like super sprint around the corner and there's some dude sitting under a pile of trash in the dark. He's going to hose you before you can do anything, but if you slowed down to at least corner the room, it would be a lot more effective. Tip number 3 is to use your ears as much as possible. Audio settings have greatly improved since the alpha and the studio playtest. At least for me, they've improved. Oddly, a lot of other people have said that they've gotten significantly worse, and I have a suspicion that this has to do with PlayStation 4 versus PS4 Pro or what build, because it seems like every PS4 is yielding different results, even with people have the same headsets, and obviously different if they have different headsets, but at least for now, footsteps are pretty easy for me to hear, so I would recommend that you just keep your ears open and listen for any unusual noises around you, especially if you've got like nice Astros or something. You will be able to hear the enemies creeping around you and shooting and popping off. Also, you shouldn't be afraid to stop and listen. This stops your footstep noise from being generated. It doesn't let them know where you're at because you're not making noise either. And you can just chill for all of like 10 seconds and listen around you and get a better idea of where the enemies are, what floor they're on, what part of the roof or basement or whatever. And keep in mind that as you sprint around the map, the enemies will be able to hear your big fat boots plodding around. You too make footstep noise, so you will be heard, and slowing down a little bit does help you. I feel like a lot of my rushing tips are just to be a little bit slower. Tip number 4 is that you literally cannot be as aggressive as you used to be no matter what, mostly because with the time to kill, you're going to be able to get picked easily, so you can't like check these corners and take the 2 shots and then run back around and then stim up super fast. What you're going to have to do is hard commit to taking something or investigate an area before you go in because you don't have the health to just get shot and then run back and heal. Too much aggression is punished in this game, so you're going to have to rush a bit less to rush effectively. Tip number 5 and 6 have to do with weapons. Number 5 is that there is an attachment called the breacher muzzle, and you can unlock, it's usually about level 10 or 12 or so on guns. It grants you instant melee kills. It's like a tiny little bayonet on the tip of your gun, and you just melee somebody and they die instantly. You don't have to do the double hit or anything, and I have surprised a lot of people with this very effectively, and it's an attachment that I would recommend on a lot of weapons. There are a lot of weapons that also have fast melee and increased melee screen shake. So the fast melees you can just slap super fast. Like you're like Mike Tyson, 1, 2, 3, 4, just slapping them. That one has worked really well. It kills almost as fast as the instant one. I mean, it's super fast. And the extra screen shake melee is probably the weakest of the 3. When you get slapped, it just really like knocks the enemy's aim off and they can't see what's going on for a second. It does work, but you are likely to just kind of get hip-fired with that one. But running one of them is nice because eventually, at some point, you're going to get too close to somebody, you're going to sprint into them, and you're going to need this melee to save your life. Number 6 is that you just about can't rush with rifles. At least I haven't been able to. I'm going to try to do that today on stream, and I think you'll actually see the stream before this video goes live. Hopefully I master that technique, but so far I have not been able to rush effectively with assault rifles. I can only do it with submachine guns or shotguns because those weapons have faster sprint out times, faster ADS, and a lot of their attachments modify those things to make them faster, faster, faster. They also have better hip fire, which is bad in this game. So if you're gonna rush, just don't do it with assault rifles or you're gonna have a bad time. Now that we're done talking about weapons, let's talk about the double-barrel shotgun. Those are my rushing tips for Modern Warfare, but I want to talk about this double-barreled shotgun. I tried to level up some guns last night to see what they would do, and I ended up really falling in love with this one. I leveled it up from 1 to 26 last night, and for a long time I was having a hard time getting it kitted right. I was not having a good time with the shotgun. Even the muzzle attachment didn't help, this attachment didn't help, the optics didn't help, until I finally tried the suppressor. The suppressed double-barrel shotgun was a lot of fun, actually. So the things that it did that it helped me was that it reduced muzzle flash so that I could actually see my target for the follow-up shot more easily, because the old one has a big, huge, double-barrel shotgun muzzle flash. You can't really see anything. It just becomes like a little wet fart. Like you can just barely hear it, just a little, and no flash, no nothing, so I can track more easily. I would say I stayed off the radar more. But since the radar's not up, or the mini-mat's not up, it was only beneficial to me when the radar was up and in between scans. So a very, very minor benefit, if anything now. But mostly nobody heard me with the shotgun popping off at all. The suppressors, for whatever reason, weren't very popular in Modern Warfare, at least not outside of the default kit that had the suppressed AUG, and especially not shotguns. And this one was almost completely silent. It was like No Country for Old Men, comically, impossibly, unrealistically silent. So I was able to sneak up behind multiple people and kill one of them, and the other one, really, if they weren't in the same party, wouldn't know what was going on. They'd just sit there, they'd never hear it, they wouldn't notice the body hit the ground. You can dink 2, 3, 4 people. You can flank behind them and kill a lot of people before they know what's going on very easily, and I can't wait to pair this with Ghost and Dead Silence later on. As I would progress through, I got new attachments that helped me with the sprint out time and the ADS speeds and new optics, and a lot of these attachments helped, but nothing helped as much as the suppressor. Yes, the suppressor hurt the one-shot kill range, but it kept me quiet, it kept, people's attention off of me, it allowed me to flank around. It also gave me the opportunity to kind of try to master mobility in this game, instead of just revealing myself with every single shot. There was some downsides. Of course, you've only got 2 shots, reloading's kind of slow. Until you unlock sleight of hand on it, then you can reload much faster. The hits are definitely fluky. It's got a one-shot wonder range and then a nothing potato range. Like all shotguns in COD, it can be kind of fluky. And there were some weird hipfire aiming misses that weren't great. I think I died one off a chopper gunner with this, just point blanking somebody with hipfire that did not hit. My advice is that even with shotguns, try not to hipfire unless you're really, really close. You just about gotta aim down sights, because when you do, it's just like other COD games, it tightens up the pellet spread. So you have like really tight pellet spread and you get much more one-shot kills. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this gun. I had a lot of fun rushing last night. I got great gameplay. For those of you that saw it on stream, I hope that you enjoyed it. I also hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned something useful about Modern Warfare, and I hope that some of you try out some rushing strategies, and I want you to all say a prayer for me that today's stream where I try to rush with assault rifles goes better. I'm going to try to figure something out, and I just hope it goes well. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.
Radar is bingo. Calling to base.